the big thing from last week was the production possibilities curve. So I'll review the production possibilities curve with you, go over those three areas, right? Underutilization, where point A was, if you remember that, the production possibilities frontier, which is equal to 100%, right? The curve BDC, and then the future production possibilities, which was represented by point X. Also, a number of questions have come up about various assignments. Remember, as I said, we generally are not going to have any hard due dates until we get close to the end of the grading period. So if you can see on your screen here what I'm sharing with you, if you go to assignments, everything is still available to you. So even these overdue assignments, right, because I have to give them a due date, are still available. Upcoming assignments, right, that are due this afternoon or due next week are still available. Past assignments that we've had are still available. So even the things that we had completed or had due from the first week, August 17th is still available. August 24th is still available. Last week's is still available. And then you can see this week's is still available until the 18th. So all of that is there. The second thing, if you are trying to complete on Edmentum, all right, you're trying to complete on Edmentum, you need to use Internet Explorer. So I had one person run me through what they were doing today, and they were in Chrome. And so they go in, they do a bunch of work in the tutorial or in their assessment and click save, and it won't save. So you want to make sure that it is in Internet Explorer. So Internet Explorer is, let me show you here. I sent out an email telling you that you should do that, but you're looking at probably this logo or another logo. All right, so there or with the yellow, but somewhere on your tablet, your device, what have you, that's what you want to be using. If you're not using that, Edmentum's not going to work right. It's not going to save your work, and you're going to be extremely frustrated. So make sure that you're using that for your Plato and your Edmentum. Second thing is when you look at the modules, so if you go to modules, remember that you've got to scroll down. Some people have gotten questions about, hey, I can't get into week 2 module. I can't get in the week 3 module. Remember that you have to run through the prior week's module before it'll let you open this one. So if you click on this and it says, hey, it's not available, make sure that you've gone through the week 1 overview, week 2 scarcity and opportunity cost, week 3 module factors of production and economic systems. Make sure that you've done that. If you haven't done that, it's not going to let you get into here. All right, not going to let you get into here. So as I said, we will go over the production possibilities curve, which was the big idea from last week. Then we'll go over the 3 areas and what those 3 areas mean. We'll play a review game online for Unit 1. There is also a video that I put up, short little 12-minute video that you can watch that reviews all of Unit 1. And then I'll show you how to access your assessment. As I alluded to last week, your assessment is available to you, but once you minimize a tab, try to add a tab, close out of that tab, what have you, it's going to lock and it'll be shut down. So when you do take your assessment, make sure that you've got everything ready, your notes already out, and you're ready to go, right, for that. So you should be set with that. Any questions so far? Okay, we had one more join. I think we should be set. Okay, so let me get to this. Okay, so last week, if you remember, we talked about a production possibilities curve. And it's a curve or graph to show alternate ways to use an economy's resources. So we had talked a little bit about under the Eisenhower administration, there was, after World War II, a lot of people wanted to spend a large amount on our societies, the United States, resources on military and the development of the military. There were a number of people that was saying, you know what, we've defeated fascism, right? We defeated Nazis. Let's focus on our domestic issues here at home, right? Colleges, training, getting our veterans back to work, what have you. And so a big debate came about during these Eisenhower terms. Remember, Eisenhower was elected in 52 and 56, right? So he's in between Truman and Kennedy, just for an idea of where he's at, about the guns versus butter debate. And so guns, we would say, would be military. Butter would be sort of domestic issues. And last week we looked at this and we talked about the fact that this is really just 1/4 of a math graph, right? We take these two lines, that's just 1/4 of a math graph. This point here, as many of you said, right, would be 0, 0 or the origin. And then what's important to you is we had 3 areas. We had area 1, we had area 2, and we had area 3. All right, so area 1, area 2, and area 3. So each of those have a value. Each of those have a value. Area 1 represented by point A, and that could be anywhere, right? That could be anywhere in this area here. So point A could be here, point A could be here, point A could be there, basically inside of that curve, anywhere inside of that curve. So when we look at that, all right, when we look at that, the area represented by point A, let's go ahead and go with Lily. Lily, is point A equal to 100%, less than 100%, or greater than 100%? If this is 0, 0 right here by that black dot, this here is our curve, and point A is inside the curve. Is it going to be equal to 100%, less than 100%, or greater than 100%?
Equal?
Equal would be?
Less than?
Less than, there you go, right? Less than. So point A is going to be, thank you, point A is going to be less than 100%. She's right, because it is inside of the production possibilities frontier, which is the maximum amount that can be produced of a society's resources. All right. And so point A, and the area represented by point A, is less than 100%. Your curve, which is represented by B, D, and C, let's go a couple of down. Let's go, Sam. Curve BDC, equal to 100%, less than 100%, or greater than 100%?
It's greater.
The curve is?
Yeah, I guess.
Equal to, right? Production possibilities frontier is the line on the product that shows the maximum, right? The maximum that we can have during that time. So the curve is equal to 100%. And then that means, right, if we go down to point X, if we look at that, Natalie, point X is going to be what? Equal to, less than, or greater than?
Greater.
Greater. Yeah, point X is going to be greater than 100%. So those are the 3 areas. So let me color that a little bit for you if I can. So we'll go here, and let's go yellow. So in this, okay, so if I highlight anywhere in area 1 is always going to be less than 100% because your curve, and I'll see if I can get your curve here shows the maximum, right, that can be produced with a society's resources, right? You may decide to spend 40% on the military and 60% on the butter, but you're still using 100%. You may decide to spend 60% on the military, 40% on the butter, you're still at 100%. Inside of that curve, you're always going to be less than 100%. And then when you get outside, okay, when you get outside here, let's go with orange, okay? You get to point X, anywhere out here, you had to have something change. And generally, that something changed, right, is going to be an increase in resources or an increase in population, right? You have more workers who can produce more, or you have an increase in technology, right? You have an increase in technology. So those are the only three ways, right, that we could get beyond the curve. We've got more people to make more things. We've got more resources to make more things, or we found a better way to make it. Easier way to make it, more efficient way to make it. Is there any questions on those three areas there? Right? This production possibilities, all it does is show how society utilizes its resources. If they're using it at full capacity, maximum capacity, it's going to be along that curve, BDC. That's always going to be equal to 100%. The easiest way to remember, right? The easiest way to remember which way, no, let me erase that. It didn't work the way I wanted it to. The easiest way to remember is that as you get closer to 0, 0, right, the numbers get smaller. So the easiest way to remember is A or X equal to or greater than or less than 0 is A is closer to the origin. It has to be less than 100. The curve is right in the middle, got to be equal to 100. X is the farthest away, right, from 100. So it has to be greater than. That's how I keep it. That's at least how I keep track in my mind. Are there any questions on that? Okay. So you want to open another tab and I'll get you set up because we can do the review game online together and you'll be able to see that. And in the new tab that you're opening, go ahead and type Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT. So Kahoot.IT, and I'll give you the game pin number. We'll be able to do this together. So Emily's the only one that we haven't seen yet, is that right? Everybody else, I think, is checked in.
Can we do it on our phones?
You can if you want, yeah. Whatever's easiest for you is fine by me. So I'll send this in the chat too. In just a minute, it's loading. So I'll put this in the chat room, the game pin. So Kahoot.it And then the game pin is 536-5520. Then you can choose a school appropriate name. It'll be up on your screen too. I think that was the last one. No, one more to join. Okay, so there'll be 40 questions on your first unit test. The first unit test will go over factors of production, opportunity cost scarcity, production possibilities curve, factors of production, everything that we've covered in unit 1. There'll be 40 questions on that assessment, and we'll go over 25 of them. All 25 of these will be on your test in one form or another. So we'll get started. Here we roll. Okay, what is meant by a tangible product? What is meant by a tangible product? Good. Remember, a tangible product is something that you can hold, something that you could feel. A service is something that somebody does for you, right? A hair salon, a barber shop, auto mechanic shop, right? Generally a service that is performed. So a good is something that, or a tangible product is a good that's something you can hold. All right, here we roll. All right, what is required for survival? The need, right? We've talked about this before. We talked about wants and needs at the beginning of the year. A need is something that is required, generally food, clothing, shelter. A plumber provides what? What does a plumber provide? Plumber provides a service. Good. Plumber provides a service. Okay, a luxury car is an example of what? Luxury car is an example of what? Luxury cars, example of a want, right? Wouldn't necessarily be a need. Dylan with a streak of 4. Isaiah with a streak of 4. All goods, products, and resources are scarce. Is that true or false? True or false? It's true. Everything is scarce. Remember when I said that at the very beginning? Doesn't matter what it is. Water, food, oxygen, doesn't matter what resource we're talking about. Everything in the world is scarce because there is an end to it. There would be a finite number of whatever we're talking about. So all goods, products, and resources are always going to be scarce no matter what. Even if I say there's abundance, even if I said nobody buys anything anymore, it's always going to be that way. Ooh, big change at the top. Israel into first. Most valuable good or service given up in an economic decision is known as what? There you go. Opportunity cost, right? Most valuable good or service given up in an economic decision is your opportunity cost. So let's say you have $5 for lunch. Your choice is between McDonald's and Subway. You choose McDonald's. You give up Subway to go to McDonald's. Subway would be your most valuable good or service that you gave up. That would be the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost would be Subway. Oh, Natalie into first. 6 in a row. Look at that. Amy. All right. The good or service obtained through an economic decision is known as what? Opportunity benefit, right? So in that previous example when I was talking about McDonald's and Subway, if you chose McDonald's, right, you gave up Subway was your opportunity cost, but in the economic decision, what you obtained through your decision is your benefit. So McDonald's would have been the benefit in that example.
So where should we?
Another alternative given up in an economic decision is what? Trade-off, right? Another alternative given up would be a trade-off. So if you had an example of that, let's say you were choosing between McDonald's, Subway, and Chick-fil-A. So the alternative would have been basically your second or third least attractive option that you have. All right, man-made decisions can cause what in the market? Man-made decisions can cause what in the market? Shortage, right? Shortage. Oh, look at that. Kai is in first, streak at 8, all the way to the top. Look at that. Top 3 spots are girls. Entrepreneurs take the greatest risk in a market economy by producing the goods. Is that true or false? That is true. Entrepreneurs take the greatest risk. Well, Israel up in the top 3. All right. If water is used in a chemical reaction for a product, it could be described as a natural what? Natural what? Natural resource, right? Anything that comes from the earth, water, land, minerals, oil, metals, all of those would be a natural resource. Alexis going to move. Timber would be what type of factor of production? Timber is going to be land, right? Ooh, 3 people with a streak of 6. That's not bad. Okay, money used to produce a good or service is what type of factor of production? Good. So capital, right? Capital is money, anything used to produce another good or service, right? So it could be a finished good, could be money, could be any sort of capital that is available. All right. Let's see just a second. Somebody's got a question in the chat room. Oh, Israel up to first. I can Kai out. Okay. Workers in a factory are what type of factor of production? So workers in a factory. Labor. Labor, right? You have the human factor of production of labor. You also have machine, computer, artificial intelligence factor production for labor. There's only one type of capital, physical. Is that true or false? It's false, right? There's more than one type of capital. Okay, back to first. Not going to let it go. Decision matrix should be used for small and large decisions. True or false? A decision matrix. That's false. Okay. Decision matrix should be used for large decisions only. Large decisions only. Uh-oh, Israel back to first. Okay, the choices in a decision matrix are alternatives. True or false? That's true. That is true. And change the top. Ooh, a couple. All right, a decision matrix should be used for blank purchases. What type of purchases, large or small? Large. Decision matrix should be made for large purchases. The categories in the decision matrix are called what? Criteria. What you base your alternatives off of is the criteria. Ooh, not much of a change. Jacob, though, 4 in a row. Has the highest answer streak. Consumers and businesses both use decision matrices to make large decisions. Is that true or false? True. Specifically for large purchases. All right, the line of a production possibilities curve that shows the maximum use of resources. We just went over this. This would be area 2 that we were talking about. The line of maximum use of resources in the guns versus butter is the frontier. Is the frontier. Jacob was 6 in a row. Just not gonna give it up. Any production inside a possibilities curve. This would be represented by point A that we just went over. Point A. Underutilization, right? Less than 100%. Area 1 is underutilization. Ooh, big changes. 4 players with an answer streak of 3. A country's allocation of resources for production is known as what versus what? Guns versus butter, right? Guns versus butter is the debate. We spend so much on guns, that's less we can spend on butter. We spend so much on butter, that's less we can spend on guns. How well resources are being used can be described as what? Right? Efficiency. How efficient? 8 players with an answer streak of 3. Way up. Okay, any production outside of possibilities curve is equal to what? This would be point X. This would be point X. More than 100%, right? Those are the 3 areas. Point A represents the area under 100% underutilization. The curve BDC, area 2, represents maximum use of your resources. That would be your frontier. And then point 3, or area 3, represented by point X, is future production. But you need an increase in population, an increase in resources, or an increase in technological advances. There we go. There's our winners. Okay. All right. So a couple of things here. Go ahead and make sure that your Canvas page is open. I'm going to go over a few things with you and get you set up for the rest of the week. Okay. So this week, right, we reviewed the production possibilities curve. We just got done playing the Kahoot. There are a couple of things that you can do if you want to before you take the assessment. Remember that To progress from one module to the next, from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3, week 3 to week 4, you have to go through the entire module. So if week 4 says it's locked, check and make sure you've done that through week 1, week 2, and week 3. The review game that we just played is at this link. So if you click on this link, download the app, which is what you need for a mobile device, you can put that game pin in, and you can do that as many times as you want. You can practice as many times as you want. That's available to you. Also, watch about half of this video. It's about 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes in length, but it goes over everything in Unit 1. You want to watch that video as many times as you can. You're welcome to. When you're ready to take the assessment, this is the link that you're going to click here. When you click on that link, right, you're going to put your 6-digit code in, right? Your 6-digit ID number is going to go right there. Your password to get into School City is your network password. The same one you use to get to your school email, the same one you use to get into your tablet. You'll put that in there and you'll sign in. Now, when you do that, let me stop for just a second so you don't see. Let me show you truly what it'll look like. Get somebody's login here. Give me 15 more seconds. Okay, when you sign in using your student number and your network password, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. You're going to go to take assessments, right? When you get to take assessments, oops, it helped if I use the right class period. When you get to take assessments, it'll say econ right there, okay? It'll say econ right there. Once that is done, okay, once that is done, as I said, you cannot minimize a tab, open a tab, do anything else in that area without it locking on you. So you need to make sure that you have that set and ready to go. If you get locked out, you're going to be toast for your assessment. Let me make sure that yours is activated. So when you log in and you go to take assessments, it's going to have your test right there. It'll say economics, unit 1 test or test number 1. You click on that and then go. As I said, though, you do not want to do that until you are ready to take that into its entirety. And it's going to be 40 questions long. So question in the chat room again asked, how do we log in? So the login again is in Canvas. That's why I had you open it up. But if you're here, you're going to use your 6-digit code, whatever that is, right? Your 6-digit student ID number, your password here, and click sign in. That'll get you into the test. So I need to activate you or it will not work. If you have questions, you can hang on. If you need any help from last week, you can hang on. As I said, you need to go through each of the modules. You have to use module 1, 2, and 3 to open 4. But that is all I have for you. And that's all you have to do by next week. It'll take me just a second to activate you. So I'll activate your period. Okay, so your class is open now, and you should be set. So your class is open now, you should be set, you're activated. If you have any questions, you can hang on, and we'll get you set. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Once you log into School City, you click on assessments, not surveys, assessments. Thank you. You too.
I have a question.
Okay, awesome. Hit me.
So when you said we have to log in through the Internet Explorer, what if we've been just going to Edmentum through Canvas, like from your page? Does that work?
Have you had any trouble saving your work when you get into Edmentum?
No, it says I've completed everything.
Okay, so let me double check yours just real quick to make sure, but if it's telling you that, that's probably a good sign. There've been a lot of people, and that's why I sent that email out, but there's been a lot of people, and they showed me, like, somebody was in Chrome this morning, first period, and like could not save anything. It wouldn't let them save anything. And I said, you're not in Internet Explorer, that's why. So they were doing 45 minutes of work, and it would not let them save anything. So I didn't want that to happen to anybody else. So if you make sure you're using Internet Explorer, you won't lose your work. I mean, it would be where, but let me check. I can check yours real quick.
Mr. Grok, can you check mine too? Because
Yeah.
I've been having some trouble.
Okay, so Lily, yours shows both have been done. And then you did market economies too. Yeah, so yours is set too.
Okay.
Okay. And then who was it Audrey or Alexis? I couldn't see.
It was Audrey.
Oh, how are you? So yeah, I saw yours. So I want you to share your screen with me for a minute.
Okay.
So, because I got that email about the problems you were having.
Yeah.
And I responded back. I mean, it showed that you had tried 4 different times to log in. So
Okay.
let's see. Go ahead and accept on sharing the video, and then down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, hit share screen, and let's see what's going on with yours.
Okay. Wait, where do I hit?
So down at the bottom, I made you a co-host. So down at the bottom, there should be a green button that says share screen.
Okay. Did it do it? Oh, wait.
It's doing it now. Okay. So, all right. So you're on a Mac, aren't you?
Yes.
I bet that's why. Okay, but let's go through it just in case. Okay, so click on all activities. Okay, so scroll down to go to scarcity and opportunity cost,
Okay.
because that's the one that was giving you problems, right?
Yeah, I had done like the whole thing and then I went to like save and exit
Right.
and then like none of it saved. And now I'm like back at like where I had started.
11,
On
right.
slide 11.
Okay, so says drag each need to the correct location on the chart. Okay, so let's say drag defense programs to government budget.
Drug.
Defense programs on the bottom, the last one, drag it to government budget. Okay, hit save and exit and see what happens.
Okay. And then
Okay.
should I click?
Yeah, go
edit?
back to play. And it's still there. Okay. That's really weird. And this is what you were using the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So don't, because I want to get an answer. I don't, because like I said, it showed that you had logged in and tried 4 different times to do this.
Okay.
So I don't want you to waste your time. The assignments are still open. All the assignments for the entire quarter are still open.
Yeah.
So just worry about, it looked like you took the other 2. So go ahead and hit save and exit again, or actually we'll try one more. So
Okay.
your money, I already did, that's fine. Just go ahead and close out.
Okay.
Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so that one's there. And then what about economic systems? Did that one give you any problems?
I don't.
No, it says completed.
Yeah, and I did it on my Mac. Like that's what was
Okay.
weird. I didn't know why.
So don't do anything else with that scarcity and opportunity cost
Okay.
until I find out why. Because it shows that you